All right, Unit 6 review. We are doing a lot of completing the square. And if you remember completing the square, you need to take the middle term. So when you have three terms, 1, 2, 3, take this middle term, which is our b. We cut it in half, and we square it. Okay? So all you have to do for this first question is figure out what number we need to add. So there's only two terms here. We're missing our last term, our c term. So the middle term is this 38. So the 38 is our b. Oops. 38 divided by 2, and we square it. Now you can do 38 times 38 over 2 times 2, or do this math first. 38 divided by 2 is 19, and you square 19, and we get 361. Okay? So you can do this, but I would not. That's extra work. Make it simple. So the first question is just 361. Okay, next question. Get rid of some of this junk. So complete the square and rewrite as a binomial square. So we're going to kind of break this part out by itself. And we're going to add a number. So we take our middle number, which is 16. We'll do it right up here. Divide it in half and square it. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 squared is 64. So we are adding 64. Now typically, where we add to one side, we would add it to the other side. Whoa. 4. Okay. But this time, we're actually going to add it on the same side. So instead of a positive 64, it will be a negative 64 to keep it balanced. Okay, this is where most people make a mistake, is they put the wrong side. If we're on the other side of the equal sign, then it will be a positive 64. But it's on the same side, so it's going to be the opposite of whatever's here. This is positive, so this one's negative. All right. Now all we have to do is rewrite it as a binomial. So x plus, and it's going to be half this number, which is 8 squared. And then we have to do this math. 30 minus 64 gives me negative 26 equals 0. And that is it. Okay, so similar question. Complete the square and rewrite as a binomial squared. We'll go a little faster through these ones. Okay, so here's our number that we're cutting in half. So we're going to get x squared minus 24x minus 10 equals 0. Take our 24, cut it in half and square it. 24 in half is 12 squared, which is 144. So plus 144. And minus 144. We're going to jump down here. X minus 12 squared. And that's minus 154. And we're done there. Solve the equation by any method. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the entire problem by 4. Okay, so that cancels out. This becomes a negative x, and that becomes minus 6, and this is still 0. Then we can factor this if you want. That's what I would do. It seems pretty easy to factor, because our a is 1. So our a times c is negative 6. Our b value is negative 1. What multiplies a negative 6 adds to negative 1 is negative 3 and positive 2. And then each of these are set to equal 0. So x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. That means my answer for this first one is 3. And here would be negative 2. Okay, this one we are not allowed to factor. It says complete the square to solve it. So I'm going to move the 7 to the other side as well. So it'll be a negative 7. So x squared plus 40x equals negative 7. What are we going to do to complete the square? Well, we take our middle term, 40, divide it in half, and square it. 40 divided by 2 is 20, and that would be 400. So we're adding 400 here, and we add 400 here. Now this time we're on the other side of the equal sign. Therefore, our signs are both the same. Okay? Both positive. This becomes x plus 20 squared equals -7 plus 400 is 393. 2 steps left. We need to square root both sides to cancel this out. So we're left with x plus 20 equals the plus and minus 393. That's a decimal, so we'll leave it like that. And last, we subtract 20 from both sides. So that cancels that. X is equal to -20 plus minus the square root of 393. Okay, another one, completing the square, solving. This time our a value is not 1, so we got to do something with that. What you can do in this case is divide the entire problem by that front number. Make it easier. So cancel, cancel. We're left with x squared. This is positive 6x. And this becomes -10 is equal to 0. I'm going to move the 10 over and then rewrite it. So add 10 to both sides, you can positive 10. My b value is 6, so 6 over 2 squared. 6 over 2 is 3, which is 9. So we're adding 9 to both sides. Add 9, x plus 3 equals 19. And just like the problem to the left, 2 more steps, square root and subtract 3. Square root, cancel the squares out, x plus 3 is equal to plus minus square root of 19. And then we subtract 3 from both sides. So x is equal to -3 plus minus square root of 19. All right, page 2. Okay, rewrite in vertex form. So similar to the early ones that I did complete the square, we're going to leave everything on one side. So I'm going to give ourselves a little bit of space. And plus 70. Take our middle term, which is 14, divide it in half, and square it. It's -14, but we're going to square it, so it's always going to be positive, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I could put it there if you want. -7 squared is 49, so plus 49. And because we're on the same side of the equal sign, we have to do an opposite, so -49. This now becomes x minus 7 squared, and 70 minus 49 gives me positive 21, with the y equals out front. That's it. No more work there. Okay. Rewrite in vertex form. So this one we have a -5 out front. We cannot divide everything by that -5 because there's not a number here. So we have another slight trick. So I'm going to first do this. Minus 90, move that out. And now I'm going to factor out a -5 from these two values. X squared, and it's a -5, so this is now positive 8, minus 90. So my -5 is now out front. -5 times x squared is -5x squared. -5 times 8 is -40. Now we're going to take our middle term, which is 8, cut it in half and square it. 8 over 2 is 4, squared is 16. Add a 16 in here. However, it's not actually a 16. It's 16 times -5, which is -80. And once again, we're on the same side of the equal sign, so we're not actually adding a -80. Well, we are adding a -80, but we need to add a positive 80 on the other side to keep it balanced. And now write it as a binomial square, so we have x plus 4 squared. -90 plus 80 is -10. looks like we got 3x squared. Okay. Yeah, I think I can finish this video in time. All right. Rewrite the equation in vertex form and then find the x-intercepts. So we got to rewrite it first, and then we're going to find the x-intercepts. So y equals, I'm going to pull that 2 out now. X squared minus 18x, and then move that 100 over. What number are we adding? Well, it's negative 18. So negative 18 divided by 2 squared is negative 9 squared, which is 81. So positive 81, but we're really doing 81 times 2, which is 162, and it's on the same side of our equal sign. So instead of a positive 162, it's a negative 162. So 2x minus 9 squared, and this is negative 62. Now it says find the x-intercepts. So what we need to do is put in a 0 for our y and solve. Okay, so we're going to add a 62 to both sides. That's a little gross. Let's fix that. Minus 9. Okay, then we're going to divide both sides by 2. We're going to have space and time here. So we get 31 x minus 9 squared. All right, divided by 2 on both sides. That's where that 31 came from. Then square root both sides. Equals x minus 9. And finally add 9 to both sides. We get our 2 x-intercepts. Okay, so we have that and that are 2 answers. Okay, 3 minutes to graph. Okay, so we are in vertex form. So here's our x, here's our y. Then we have to change the sign, so it's a positive 2, comma, negative 13. Pattern of change here is we are multiplying everything by 3. We don't actually, let's see here, vertex, okay. So yeah, our pattern of change is 3, which means once we have our vertex, we're going to go left and right by 1. So our A is 3, and our parents are 1, 3, 5, and 7. So we get 3, 9, 15, and 21. So let's find our vertex. It's 2, comma, negative 13. And we are going up. Okay, we have a concavity of up. So 2, comma, negative 13. So let's see here. I'm going to count. So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this will be, there you go, it's close enough. 1.5 minutes. Almost done. Okay, so 2, comma, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now this is, whoops. We're going to go left and right 1 unit, over 1, and then up 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we go left again and up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And next one's going to be up 15, which I believe will be off. Yeah. So we can only do 2 points here. Standing to the right, over 1, up 3, and then over 1, up to 9. Here's that line. Oops. Okay, I'll fix those other ones. Boom, and boom. Okay, I got a half minute to answer these last questions. What is the dolphin's starting depth? That would be right here, -1. When does the dolphin catch the fish? It would be here, 2 seconds. How long does it take the dolphin to reach the surface? So the surface will be right there. We actually need to find the x-intercept for that, which I did not do, but we did that above. At what depth does the dolphin catch the fish? It would be at 13 feet down. Okay, and this answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4, just over 4. 4 and something. All right, mad time.